Hey crafty people, welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! So it's time for another Mass Make Monday, and we are creating pockets to go in our journals using ribbon. And for my pocket bases, I've cut out a whole bunch of 2 inch high by 5 inch wide pieces of paper that we're going to glue the ribbon on to. And this is how I broke down a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper to get my pockets. And so to make my 2 inch by 5 inch pocket bases, I took an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and to minimize my cuts, I cut at 8 inches. Then I cut across of the piece that was left at 10. Then I cut at 2, 4, and 6 inches to get my 4 2-inch wide strips, and then cut those in half at 5, if that makes any sense. And this is a drawing of the cuts that I made. I'm keeping these strips because I'm going to show you how you can make gussets for your pockets if you want to have the pocket be a gusseted pocket. So we'll do at least one of those with gussets. And cutting it this way gets you 8 pockets from one sheet and enough paper to do sides and a bottom gusset for 2 of the pockets, and then side gussets for 2 additional pockets. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of my way and zoom in a little closer. I wanted you to be able to see the whole sheet of paper. And I am going to start my timer and grab one of my bases. And so this is a great way to use your ribbon scraps. I don't have a ton of ribbon scraps, but I do have a ridiculous amount of ribbon. So let's do, I'm going to do, so I've forgot what I was saying, but I've got a ton of ribbon, and so I'm going to pull out some of my ribbons. And as you know, I've been working on bee journals, so I think we're going to do a few in yellow and black, and then I've got some yellow and gray ribbon. I thought that would be cool too, so we're going to do those. We're going to start with those. So let's start with the first piece, which I'm just going to, no, I don't want to do that for covering the corner. Let's do something a little plainer for the corner. All right, we'll use this plain yellow. So you may recognize this technique. I did do it for a one of my 12 cards of Christmas in 2023. So basically you just add a little glue to your piece, stick your piece of ribbon down, and the first one's just a little fiddly because you want to cover the corner and you want to make sure your ribbon goes all the way to the edge neatly. And then, where's that? Let's do the little, and then I'm going to take a pair of scissors and trim off because all of these ribbons are still in my little ribbon storage thingies, and so it'll be a little difficult for me to maneuver if I don't trim. And then let's take this and glue it down. And we can always go back in afterwards and glue down edges that aren't glued down all the way, like right there. You could also put like a tape runner on the back of the ribbon and attach it down that way. I'm using Fabri-Tac. I don't know how well glue stick would hold the ribbon, so I don't know if that would work as an option. And then just take our scissors. But as I was saying, I did this as an element on a card for one of my 12 cards of Christmas in 2023, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned during that video that I thought, ooh, this would be a great idea for creating an interesting pocket for a journal. Let's go yellow again. Ooh. I am just making a mess all over the place. So this video is going up on tax day in the US, so hopefully you've gotten your taxes done, because by the time this posts, it will be too late to get it postmarked by the 15th. I actually managed to not wait until the very last minute to do my taxes this year. I have a bad habit of procrastinating, largely because there have been a few years where I've had to pay not insignificant amounts in taxes, and so I've generally preferred not to give them my money until the absolute last minute. Let's see. We have been using a lot of thick ones. Let's do the polka dot in the thin. So yeah, just vary your ribbon widths, vary your ribbon colors, just make it interesting. And you know what, I'm gonna grab this little spatula thing and smooth that glue globbiness out. But this year I got money back, and I was so very excited because I got enough money back to cover the cost of a scan and cut, plus have a little bit extra to pick up some of the new Tim Holtz releases. So yeah, I've already allocated and spent my refund that I haven't gotten yet, but should get before the bill comes in. Let's see. I think I want, let's go super thin yellow. Do a super thin yellow one. I'm just gonna cut about there. And then let's do, trying to see, oh, I do have a super thin black. Let's do a super thin black one. So again, I mean, it's a fairly simple process. It's just a matter of alternating your ribbons. Now, if you don't have a ton of ribbon, you can use strips of paper to do this and get the same result. In fact, I've got some design strips off to the side that I cut off some pieces of paper that I'm planning on doing a couple of pieces with. So maybe I'll do one of those next before going back to the ribbon. Because yeah, it's a great way to use ribbon. I have a ridiculous stock of ribbon. Like, my ribbon stash is insane, especially given the fact that I don't use all that much ribbon these days. You know, the ribbon stash got started years ago. I joined the Really Reasonable Ribbon company, had a ribbon of the month club, and so each month you'd get a selection of ribbons. In fact, the gray and yellows that I pulled out, I think might have been the first month that I joined. And the really ironic thing of that is yellow is not a color I use all that often, but I really just loved the look of the ribbon, so I joined so I could get that collection of ribbons. And yeah, between that and for a while there, Michael's would have had a $1 ribbon bin, and I'd sort through that every time I went into Michael's and bought tons and tons of ribbon that way. And yeah, the collection just kept growing and not getting used enough. So this is one of those ways that is really great if you have way too much ribbon in your stash to use said stash. Okay, I think I have like a scrappy piece of yellow somewhere. I thought, yes, over here. So how was everybody's weekend? I had a hair appointment on Saturday, so I was out of the house for a while, and I came home and apparently left a bag of walnuts too close to the edge of the counter because I no longer had a bag of walnuts when I got home. Bert greeted me at the front door with the ripped up bag of walnuts in his mouth. He was very proud of himself. Now, don't worry, regular walnuts are not toxic to dogs. It just may cause some stomach upset, and given how stinky he has been today, I think he has a little bit of upset tummy. Nothing major, and he'll be fine, but yeah, apparently I just didn't do a good enough job checking out the countertops. I think what happened is I moved the bag so it wouldn't get melted when I used the toaster yesterday morning, and then forgot to move it back. And so it was too close to the edge when I left for my hair appointment. So yeah, I did that yesterday. And then last night, my toilet decided to start leaking everywhere because it was not registering that the tank at the back of the toilet was completely full. And so I called my dad this morning to have him come look at it, figuring we'd probably have to replace the mechanism inside the tank of the toilet. And he turns the water back on because I know enough. I turned the water off as soon as I noticed I was having this problem. And in fact, Bert ended up waking me up at like almost 3 in the morning, and I hear a dripping sound. Apparently I hadn't turned the water off all the way, just most of the way, because yeah, water was leaking on the floor again. All right, so now just to make it all nice and pretty, we're just going to turn it over and trim it around, and wow, that took a long time. So yeah, but as I was saying, he turned the water back on, looked inside, and that should not have started over there because it was still wet, and got that a little messy there. So that one needs to be trimmed a little bit more. So there we go. That'll work as a pocket on a page. And it'll go on a page just like, let's see. It can go down at the bottom of a page like this, or you can put it at the top of a page as a top tuck. And yeah, I definitely need to do a little bit more trimming up to make sure it's all nice and neat, but that's the basic idea. I have a feeling this mass make is going to be a little less massive than I would like, because that took like 10 minutes. Let me do a paper one real quick so you can see how that would look. And so I've got, let's grab another one of these. Paper should go a little bit faster since I will use my arc glitter glue and it won't need as much smoothing out as I go. So again, basically the same principle. These are the design strips off of a piece of paper, and I'm going to do that to make it a little easier to work with. Just going to add a little bit of glue to this, and this one I want to start, oddly enough, kind of here instead of in the corner, because I think I can use cut-off scraps for the corner, but it wasn't smart to put glue down on there. Let's do this as quickly as possible so that we can hopefully not have to just re-glue that whole thing. So yeah, these were the, top part on some paper pads have like the little design label strip, or this one was in a block. So the little hole for hanging it to display it in a store was in a strip at the top, and it was perforated, and I just pulled off you know, the page. And so that's what I've got here. Switch this one over since there's not a whole heck of a lot going. There's not a lot of the design from the pattern paper left on the design strips on this one. But, yep, so it's going to go this way. But I figured, why throw them out when we can do this with them and create some pockets for the journal that I'm going to make, which I am planning a journal inspired by the color palette of this paper pack, and it's going to be a digital free journal. Not sure when I'm going to start working on that, since I really need to finish the bee journals and the sewing journal. But stay tuned for that. That should be coming sometime in the future, hopefully not too distant. I think that's gonna go there. So yes, I now have my scan and cut sitting in my office. I need to get it out of the box and figure out how to work it and all that, because yeah, I decided to pick one up when I was noticing that sitting on my couch and spending an entire evening fussy cutting was causing my wrist to bother me, my shoulder, like I hold it with my left hand, so that shoulder was starting to bother me. My wrist wasn't liking doing all the cutting. It was definitely okay, clearly my body does not love spending all of this time fussy cutting. We need to consider getting a scan and cut, which will enable me to cut out all of the bits and bobs from the printable kits that I buy without having to kill my body to do so. So I'm just gonna trim the overhang off, and I think I'm probably off screen for that. I think I need to adjust my camera location a little because this requires me to lean in more over my desk than I usually do. And so, yeah. Let's find a piece we like for this corner. That's big enough for this corner. Oh yeah, that'll work. And then I think we're gonna use this little guy for down here for this corner. And I think what I may do is grab my guillotine and use that to trim this off because it's paper. And I'll set all of the rest of the paper pieces aside and save it, my leftover bits, for making another one. So there we go. There's another pocket created. And these are definitely things I'm gonna decorate when, you know, I go to put together a journal instead of decorating now. So we're just gonna go ahead and because I suspect all I'm going to probably do on any of these is maybe add a label, because the striping is just so cool and looks so nice. It doesn't really need a whole heck of a lot. So let's set that one aside. Kind of want to do another yellow one. This one, maybe pull in some of the yellow and gray I have. Let's start with this piece, since this truly is a scrap. And I do, actually, let's try and use more of that. So we'll hold off on using that one, and let's use this gray for our corner. Yeah, I'm storing my Fabri-Tac kind of open and upside down, so that's why it's all gooey and messy looking, because it just makes it easier if the glue's stored so that it's down in the tip. Otherwise it takes forever to get the glue going, and then you guys are sitting here wondering why it's taking me so long to do stuff. So this way I don't have to wait on the glue. So yes, let's see what else is going on in my world. Oh, I am this coming Friday going to Epcot for the Flower and Garden Show, I think is what it is. Let's use this one. Very up our size. With some friends, and that one wasn't quite in the right position, because you may see like it's not all the way to the edge there, so I think we're probably going to end up overlapping the gray to cover up that spot. And then I decided to take the rest of the next week off because, all right, this is going to sound strange, I need to get a new couch, so I need to completely, for my TV/craft room, so I need to completely reorganize the room, because so I'm going to spend that week doing that. And the reason why I've got to completely reorganize the room is I need to also replace the flooring in this room. And so I figure what I'll do is have, there's a company down here called College Hunks Hauling Junk, who will come and haul away your junk for you. So I figured I'd have them come and take the couch on, say, a Friday. My dad and I can do the flooring install on the weekend, and then have a new couch delivered on Monday, so we don't have to deal with trying to get the couch out of the way while we're putting down the flooring in here. So my current couch is ripping, which means I need to do the get rid of the couch, get a new couch thing sooner rather than later. But I have so much craft supply stuff since I, started doing junk journaling and the YouTube channel. My acquisition of craft supply has increased, and I've got stuff everywhere. So I'm like, this needs to get sorted and organized, and in a way that I can move some of it out and still be able to function and do my videos and stuff. And yeah, so I'm taking a week off of work to work on clearing that up, and hopefully getting ahead on filming my YouTube videos a little bit and editing and all that good stuff. So yeah. And I've got a bunch of stuff I need to list in my Ko-fi shop, which, if you are not aware, I have a shop on Ko-fi. That's it's ko-fi is just their straight website. You can go straight to the website. And you can search for me for using Craft Nerd Creates. And I am attempting to sell some of the stuff I create, because I want to create more things than I have need of in my life. And so that they don't overtake my whole house, I'm trying to sell them. So some of the stuff you have seen me create on my channel is currently listed for sale on my Ko-fi site. and I've got some other stuff that I've made that needs to get listed. I can talk, really, I can. So that will be probably one of the other projects I do during my week off, is get my coffee shop all updated, do all that good stuff. And I've got a vet appointment, and I'm going to lunch with a friend. So yeah, I just needed a bit of a refresh and reboot and some time off. And I'm very much looking forward to getting some new organization going in my craft space. I just ordered some wall boxes by Best Craft Storage is the company. Best Craft Organization. I forget the name of the company, which is really sad because my craft desk is from them. I bought it an eon ago because they don't even sell the desk anymore. But they sell like large cubes. Like they've got the half cube, a double, they're stackable on top of each other. And what it is it's like a modular system. So they sell to go into the cabinets 1-inch, 2-inch, and 3-inch deep drawers. And, you know, each modular piece has so many slots you can fill. And so depending on how many slots you want to fill, oh man, just shy. I think I may do something skinnier. Yeah, let's do this one. And then so that there's a little bit more, because having just a teeny tiny piece at the ends, not ideal. So it's, you know, if it has, let's say 18 slots, you can fit, or let's go with 9. I'm trying to think, how many slots does this thing have? I don't know. So say a section has 12 slots. You can fit 4 3-inch drawers, or 6 2-inch drawers, or 12 1-inch drawers, or you can do a mixture. Let's put this down. This is wide enough, yes. Of, you know, 1, 2, and 3-inch drawers, just so long as it adds up to 12, it will fit. And so this way you can completely customize the piece based on what depth of drawers you need. And so I love it because I use the 1-inch drawers for my distress inks, and so they just lay out, and I can fit 16 ink pads in a single drawer, like the regular size ink pads, and they're all laid out flat, not piled on top of each other. So I can just pull open the drawer and find it. The only problem is the very back row, because it's 4 across, 4 deep. That back row, you have to pull out the pieces in front of it to get to, because you can't, the drawer doesn't pull out far enough to access those items without moving the items in front of it around. Okay, so that's looking good. I think we've got at least enough time to do one more of these. Now, I probably could pull out my, I've got a rotary blade for cutting fabric. That might work better with a ruler for trimming off, but as part of my precursor to reorganizing, I actually think I moved it across the room, which may not be where it stays. So there's another one. Let's do one more. And for this one, I think I want to do some colors that'll work for my sewing journal. Which I'm gonna go with pinks and some lace probably on this one. Maybe this. And I think some of the browns will work too, because it's a grungy kind of journal. So this pink, I think, fits with the colors that I've been using. So let's start with that one. And what I can always come in and do if I decide later on this is, you know, too bright a pink, is I can add some distress ink to it to tamp down its pinkness. So we got that one. I think this one, I think I will like having that one on there. And you shouldn't, as long as you're getting glue on the edge of the piece of ribbon where it's attached to the paper, have issues with the ribbon fraying later on. I want to go with the cream ribbon next, or the cream lace. And I did intentionally pick, this is like a rose gold cardstock from Michaels, knowing that I was going to try and put some lace in, so that what's peeking through fits color-wise. And I just want to smooth it out on this one, especially because we're putting lace, so it's going to have openings that you might see, any like big glue globs. So to try and avoid that. I think it worked a little bit better when I was being more precise when I trimmed off the pieces than waiting till the end. So that's why I've been doing that. Let's put something in the pinks. That seems very bright. I've got a very skinny sheer pink. Do you like that? I think I do like that. Although I don't know that I want it right next to the lace because it's so high up. So let's go with, let's do this one. Uh-oh. Come on. Cooperate. There we go. I need a little bit more glue. Just going to add a little glue under there. Do a thin line for our super thin sheer pink. Just gonna make sure we don't have any, like that thick glob. We're gonna just come in and pull that off because that is not pretty. Not sure how well the sheer ribbon worked, but we can always cover that up with like a label or something And I think I'm going off screen again. Sorry about that. I do kind of like this pink floral, but not right next to the sheer pink. Let's do a little bit of this. No, this one. Oop. Pink on there. Get the flowers. Sorry again. I gotta stay on screen. Stay in the green zone. Let's do a little bit of this. Just checking to see if I've got any more pinks that I like. Oh, that one. I'm going to use a piece of the thin sheer brown. And then I think I'm gonna do this. No, wait. Let's see, what happens if I do that? Yep, I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go brown with pink stitching. right, let's trim this up real quick, and then I'm going to show you a fairly quick way to add gussets to the pocket. This way, if you want it to be a gusseted pocket, you can do that. All right, so I'm going to take my cutoff strips, and I think I'm going to make this one the gusseted pocket, and I'm going to have to try and figure out where I put the other one we finished, because that seems to have disappeared. And I'm going to grab, all right, there it is. Put my turn my Fabri-Tac back right side up so that it stops oozing, because we're going to use art glitter glue for this. I'm going to use my guillotine. And so my 1/2 inch strips, I need to cut a piece that's 4 inches. Then I'm going to take from the thicker one, because I think this way will get me more of what I need. I'm going to cut a piece that's 2 inches. And then I'm going to cut it in half, which may not work on my guillotine, because, let's see, we're gonna wing it. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly right, since you're not actually going to see it. Then we're going to fold each strip in half. Grab my bone folder. This strip in half. And our long strip in half, which I think my calculations were off on how long to make the strip. So hopefully that's not going to be too big of an issue. So we're going to flip over. We're going to take our little strips first and cut off a little angle at each end. And then on this side, we're going to put some glue on our little gusset piece and attach it to our pocket like so. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I cut those angles there. No, that's right. Cut my angles wrong on this one, I think. So we're just gonna do that so that our top is not sticking above. Because you'll notice on this side, I've got the point. I angled the wrong way so that, because what I want is the point up there, if that makes any sense. Probably not, but we're just gonna glue this down so it's not sticking above the top. And then glue this along the bottom. And yeah, I was thinking I didn't need it to go all the way across. I did the math of, okay, a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch is 1 inch, so cut it down 1 inch size, but then I forgot it was getting folded in half, so it was only going to be a 1/4 inch, or only a total of a 1/2 inch, so this should have been 4.5 inches. And so then you just glue it down on your page like so. It shouldn't cause too much of an issue when I put it in a journal, because this will stop as long as it's nothing really tiny is getting stuck in the pocket, which with this kind of pocket, I don't think you'd put anything tiny in it. You shouldn't have any issues. So yeah, so then when it goes in the journal, you're just gonna put glue along this piece, and this piece. And I'm noticing a bit of peeling up over here. So I'm just gonna add some glue to there. And again, sorry if I keep going off screen. Somehow I managed to like shift everything further up on my desk, because yeah, I tend to work closer to myself than mid-desk, and this is like mid to top desk right now. Oh, and there's our timer. And so let's see what we did today. We got one made out of leftover paper strips. We've got 2 bee journal colors and 1 sewing journal colored one. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.